So I'm Kim. I've been at Mosaic for 4.5 years. I had a pretty normal childhood and teenage years. And then I met Jeremy, my now husband. Met him when we were 16, almost 17. And we worked at Target together and roped him in. Within a couple months, found out we were pregnant with our now 22-year-old Christina. And things went downhill pretty fast after we found out we were pregnant. So by this point, we were both 17. I was a senior in high school. He was a junior. He wanted to get married. I wanted nothing to do with that. And rushing into things way too quick led us to break up. And we had a pretty nasty breakup during that time. While I was pregnant, we didn't really talk a whole lot. By my choice, he wasn't really involved in the pregnancy. And it was in the hospital that we got back together. Probably a bad decision to make big decisions when you're post-birth hormones. Note to everyone out there. But we ended up getting back together in the hospital and deciding, we should give it a go, that we really did enjoy each other's company. And then at 14 months, I honestly don't even know what led us to break up, but we did. At that point, we went our separate ways. He saw her on the weekends and had her on the weekends and would come over after work. He was always a good dad, but I didn't want much to do with him. My parents, after I got out of college, said, well, we're moving to Alaska, so you can come with us, or you can stay here, but either way, you're on your own. And so I discussed it with my boyfriend at the time and decided that I would move up with them. And so I took Jeremy to court to be able to take her out of state and move out of state. And that led into a paternity test and child support and a really, really kind of like 2-year court battle of nastiness between the two of us. We moved out of state eventually. We got the permission. We moved out of state, moved to Alaska for 18 months, did our own thing. He had visitation, court ordered. Both up there and back in Minnesota, so she and I would come back regularly during that time. And Christina, who was now 3 at the time, asked if we could do something together as a family. And Jeremy and I remembered distinctly this conversation taking place and kind of like taking that deep breath in, like no one's gonna say anything, and looking at each other like, what do you say to your 3-year-old when she wants to spend time with mommy and daddy? That just led to us like remembering like, hey, the other person's a good person and we make each other laugh and we still enjoy each other's company and all of that. And so throughout that visitation, Jeremy just kept like inviting me to different things. And so one of the activities that was going to be taking place was family night at his church, where he had started attending about a year prior. And so I was like, yeah, I can handle that, put Christina between the two of us, and that's it, right? And so we did that, and as we were in this, and at the end of the service, they did an altar call for people that kids that wanted to give their life to Christ. But I felt called in that moment to give my life to Christ. And so I did not want to go up because this was for kids, not me. And but Jeremy kind of looked at me and was like, if you feel like you should go up, you should go up. So I did. And so here's this like line of 5-year-olds, maybe 8-year-olds, and then there's Kim. And I'm short, so not that much of a difference, but still, it was noticeable. And So at that family service with a bunch of kids is where I gave my life to Christ. Jeremy and I continued to hang out during that time, and I realized like he's not this like awful person that I had made him out to be in all of these years. Meanwhile, Jeremy and I continued to talk every night on the phone. This was before texting, and so Jeremy just kind of said over the phone one night, like, would you want to marry me? And so he was in Minnesota and I was in Alaska, and I said, yeah, I do. We looked to Christina as God really used her to bring us back together, both as a couple and a family unit, but also just in a way to bring me to Christ.